Good evening. The time now is 11 p.m. Our top of the hour headlines. Sarawak's natural resources an attractive investors' opportunity. Singapore to bear the cost for the 782-kilometer underwater electric cable and shorter trips for cargo via Samalaju port. Hello there. You're now with me, Douglas Elliott, and this is TVS Nightline. Sarawak's diverse natural and renewable resources are perceived as an advantage to attract foreign investment. After proving its ability to produce hydrogen energy, Sarawak is now moving on to solar power, which is being implemented in Batang Ai.
Sarawak Premier Dato' Patighi Tan Sri Abang Johari Junaping said that at the moment Sarawak has 5,000 megawatts in solar reserves and this is expected to increase.
Dan dijangkakan dalam masa 2030 di bawah PCDS mungkin kita ada mempunyai tenaga sebanyak 10,000 megawatt dengan adanya balik dan juga solar, dan ini dapat sudah tentu merangsang lagi ekonomi kita.
Meanwhile, Abang Johari said one of the factors that need to be focused on is Sarawak's need for a skilled workforce.
Kita ada tenaga tenaga elektrik, tapi kita juga berkendakan tenaga manusia yang boleh melibat diri dalam industri baru ni yang akan berpangkalan di negeri Sarawak.
Abang Johari, together with the Sarawak delegation, arrived in Singapore on Sunday evening as part of Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim's first official visit to Singapore after being appointed the position last November. On Monday, Abang Johari also joined the Prime Minister's delegation in paying a courtesy call to Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong and Singapore President Halimah Yacob at the Presidential Palace.
The Sarawak government's effort in exploring new economic opportunities while harnessing potential of its hydroelectric power will contribute immensely to the region's income. Sarawak Energy Berhad Chief Executive Officer Dato' Sharbini Suhaili noted that such a move will not only benefit the local companies, but at the same time it could lure foreign direct investment to Sarawak, such as the proposed export of hydropower to Singapore.
Sharbini said the planned submarine cables linking Kuching to the city-state will commence once a series of negotiations are completed. He added the negotiations will also include Indonesia, as a large section of the 720-kilometer project will bypass its territory. He told this to TVS reporter after attending a pre-council meeting between the Premier Dato' Patighi Tan Sri Abang Johari Junaping with Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim at the Malaysian High Commission in Singapore. He said that the Premier had presented the Sarawak government's proposal to cooperate with Singapore in the new renewable energy sector. Anwar arrived in the island republic on Monday on a formal invitation by Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. Also present during the meeting were the Minister of International Trade and Industry, Tengku Dato' Sri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz, Minister of Transport, Anthony Loke, and Johor Chief Minister Dato' On Hafiz Ghazi. While the Sarawak delegation included the Minister of Utilities and Telecommunications, Dato' Julahi Narawi, and State Secretary Dato' Ahmad Muhammad Abu Bakar Mazuki.
In regards to that, a sociopolitic analyst from University Malaya, Associate Professor Dr. AZMAN Pawi, Sarawak's strategic location and natural resources will be a pulling factor to attract foreign direct investments, or FDI. Sarawak's push towards renewable energy sector is a big potential to be explored in expanding its economy sector in the region.
He also added that the step was in line with Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim's vision for Sarawak to be more proactive in playing a role in attracting investments in a nation or other states.
Kabel dasar laut yang diusahakan oleh negeri Sarawak yang memerlukan bukan saja komitmen daripada Sarawak, tapi memerlukan komitmen daripada Kuala Lumpur ataupun Putrajaya dan juga sokongan daripada kerajaan Indonesia untuk memastikan laluan mereka ke Singapura itu turut disetujui oleh kerajaan pusat, negara Indonesia dan juga untuk memastikan saluran hidroelektrik ke Singapura itu termentrai. Ini merupakan satu bentuk keyakinan baru dalam konteks pelaburan dalam konteks Asia Tenggara.
He said this when contacted by TVS on Monday. He also believes other than Singapore, other investment potential also includes Indonesia, which will create job opportunities for Sarawak.
Ini merupakan satu peluang Sarawak bukan saja untuk membangunkan ekonomi setempat, membangunkan ekonomi Sarawak, memberikan sumbangan KNK kepada negara, tapi juga mampu memberikan limpahan peluang pekerjaan kepada anak-anak muda di negeri Sarawak khususnya.
Meanwhile, he also added that political stability is one of the main factors that contribute to investors' confidence towards Sarawak.
Singapore will fund the estimated 8 billion ringgit to build the undersea electric cable from Tondong, Sarawak to the Republic. Sarawak Premier Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said the project will include 782-kilometer cable to supply electric energy for industry use. Now, Firdaus Ismail in Singapore with the details.
Thank you, Studio. The project, according to Abang Johari, will have a significant impact to Sarawak in fulfilling its vision to become a high-income state by 2030. He disclosed that the aspect needs further discussion with Indonesia government as the project will involve Indonesia territory. However, Abang Johari is optimistic that ongoing discussion between the three nations will be fruitful. Apart from that, Abang Johari also noted that Sarawak is ready to conduct carbon trade with Singapore, to which the matter has been conveyed to Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who had discussion earlier today with his counterpart Lee Hsien Loong in conjunction with his official visit to Singapore. Abang Johari added Singapore acknowledged Sarawak's vision towards new economic sector.
The Samalaju port has significantly reduced the time for cargo ships to reach Sarawak shores from 20 days to a mere 4 to 6 days. Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Ambas said the reduction has been in place since last year and is a remarkable achievement by Sarawak.
I visited Samalaju port in March 2022. At the time, I was briefed that the turnaround for kapal are as long as 20 days. So some of the investors that we met, they are expressing frustration because they have to pay demurrage fees kalau lambat and so on and so forth. So we have given the task to Bentulu Port Holding to improve the services in Samalaju port, and I'm very happy to inform everyone that they have indeed made a major improvement. Their efficiencies have increased.
He spoke during a press conference after his work visit to Samalaju Port in Bintulu on Monday. Uga, who is also the Minister of Infrastructure and Ports Development, said his ministry will continue to monitor the development of the port to ensure its efficiency and productivity are maintained and improved moving forward. Also present was the Deputy Minister of Infrastructure and Ports Development, Datuk Majang Renggi.
The Sarawak government will continue to focus on the implementation of basic infrastructure development in the state's northern region this year. Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan said development will continue to be done to make sure that Limbang and Lawas enjoy the same development as other parts of Sarawak.
Awang said the projects in focus include the construction of road networks, the Northern Coastal Highway, Sarawak Link Road, and telecommunication systems.
Infrastruktur seperti jalan raya, jambatan, ini penting ya. Satu daripadanya ialah the Northern Coastal Highway ini, insyaAllah kita akan mulakan pada tahun ini. Dan kita juga sudah mendapat persetujuan daripada kerajaan. Sarawak Link Road juga akan dilaksanakan. Fasa pertama sudah dalam pembinaan semasa ini dan akan kita teruskan. Itu juga jalan yang menghubungkan terus ke sempadan di antara Sarawak dengan Indonesia juga dalam perancangan kita.
Awang spoke to TVS when met by the media after paying Chinese New Year visits to several Chinese community leaders in Limbang on Sunday evening. The second Minister for Natural Resources and Rural Development, comes Sarawak Minister of International Trade, Industries and Investments, explained that the Sarawak government is also developing basic facilities along rural roads.
Dari segi kemudahan asas seperti bekalan elektrik, yang pertama ialah kita dalam pelaksanaan sekarang, iaitu untuk menyambung Limbang dan Lawas kepada state grid. Mudah-mudahan ini akan dapat disiapkan dalam tahun 2024. Ya. Dengan terlaksananya projek ini, maka ianya akan memudahkan kita untuk kita memperluaskan lagi bekalan elektrik ke kawasan luar bandar. Bekalan air juga kita akan beri tumpuan, ya. Kita akan beri tumpuan supaya kita dapat memperluaskan lagi coverage on the water supply.
Also present during the program was Malaysia Deputy Transport Minister Dato' Hasbi Habibullah, Sarawak Deputy Minister of Food Industry, Commodity and Regional Development Dato' Dr. Abdul Rahman Ismail, Batu Danau Assemblyman Paulus Polu Gumbang, and Limbang resident Yunus Tambi. The houses visited include Pemancar Leong Bung Ming, Penghulu Chua Beng Sun, and Limbang Hokkien Association Chairman David Chua Kien Tin.
Now, similarly, Awang is optimistic that Sarawak could attract foreign investors as the state is aggressively developing its economy, small and medium enterprises, education, tourism, health and modern agriculture sectors.
Dalam bidang infrastruktur pendidikan juga kita nak tekankan infrastruktur kesihatan dan kemudahan-kemudahan yang lain. Ya. Dengan itu kita dapat menunggu kepada bagaimana untuk membangunkan sektor-sektor ekonomi dari segi ekopelancongan, pertanian, peternakan, perikanan, aquaculture, dan ini mempunyai potensi yang begitu besar sekali. Dan ini boleh kita membangunkan sektor perusahaan kecil dan sederhana, yang mana ramai sudah yang terlibat. Cuma lagi ialah kita nak mempertingkatkan. Dan sebab itu kita juga nak melaksanakan estate industrial di Limbang, di samping untuk mewujudkan premis perniagaan, ya, untuk mereka terlibat dalam bidang pemprosesan, untuk pemasaran produk, beberapa anjung usahawan misalnya.
On Monday, Malaysia and Singapore signed agreements covering areas that include digital economy and green economy cooperation, as well as personal data protection and cyber security. The framework of cooperation in digital economy encompasses areas such as trade facilitation, cross-border data flows, and electronic payments, while the green economy cooperation will look into the development of new and renewable energy-related technology. According to co-founder and general partner of Scale Up Malaysia, the meeting serves as an opportunity for Malaysia to grow in business and to continue attracting foreign investment.
I think there's a huge opportunity here for us to build some good bilateral relations. And I think for Malaysia to continue attracting FDI, it's actually really simple because we've actually been doing a lot of this over the last couple of years. Now that we've got some political stability, there's a perception that we've got a government with a plan that will last a couple of years. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for us to kind of grow and build together.
He added, for Malaysia to grow in the areas of business, it needs to improve on a few areas, such as in policymaking and the ease of doing business.
With our regional neighbours. So number one, I think, is we need to improve the ease of doing business, right? We are currently ranked as one of the top countries to do business in the region, and I think that will only improve with time. Another thing that will really help with doing business in Malaysia is encouraging clarity within the government, such as transparent policies, clear stakeholders of who you deal with, how to take advantage of different policies. These things will go a very, very long way.
Similarly, he said that Malaysia should also poise itself to become an attractive global talent destination.
What's really important is to have the ability to attract talent, right? I think one of the most important things for every business in Malaysia is being able to say you can bring in the best people from anywhere in the world and they can work in Malaysia. And I think if we are able to allow foreign companies to attract talent to Malaysia, build business here, is a huge asset to us as a nation.
Now, don't go anywhere, because coming up right after the break, another Anjung Kasih to be built in Kuching. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The Women, Family and Community Development Ministry plans to set up another National Welfare Foundation, or the YKN Anjung Kasih Temporary Accommodation Facility, in the Sarawak General Hospital. Its Minister Dato Sri Nancy Sukri, who is also YKN Board of Trustees Chairman, said the Anjung Kasih at SGH was aging and in need of more space, especially for individuals who reside far from the state capital and undergoing cancer treatment at the hospital.
Anjung Kasih, managed by government hospitals, was established to elevate the financial and emotional burden faced by family members, especially from the B40 groups, who live far from the hospital and need to commute to take care of the patients.
Dan nampaknya di sini saya dimaklumkan oleh hospital di Kuching ini memerlukan satu lagi Anjung Kasih. Kerana di sini ada dalam 80, 90 satu hari kan, dalam satu masa, maka memerlukan lebih lagi tempat sebagai Anjung Kasih. Saya terima kasih kepada pihak hospital kerana menjaganya dengan baik, bersih, dan bilik-bilik pun mempunyai katil-katil dan dijaga dengan baik. Cuma saya rasa itu perlu diperbaikilah. We need a modern kind of facility untuk mereka yang tinggal di Anjung Kasih ini.
In addition, Nancy also urged more companies to provide contributions to Anjung Kasih through YKN, as the project does not run from the government agencies but rather facilitated under the Ministry and Hospitals Initiative.
Ingin juga saya nyatakan di sini, di pihak kami bukan kerajaan yang mengeluar peruntukan untuk membina Anjung Kasih ataupun membantu orang, tetapi ia dibuat di bawah Yayasan Kebajikan Negara. Memang banyak mereka perlukan. Jadi saya haraplah orang-orang yang berkemampuan, syarikat-syarikat yang berkemampuan untuk membantu dan juga untuk mendermalah kepada Anjung Kasih ini.
To date, a total of 85,596 family members of patients have utilized Anjung Kasih services in 18 government hospitals nationwide. Besides the one in Kuching, 2 other Anjung Kasih in Sarawak are located at the Miri and Sibu hospitals.
Now, Malaysia achieved the lymphatic filariasis infection prevalence target of less than 2% in 125 endemic sub-districts last year. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said this was achieved through the National Lymphatic Filariasis Elimination Program, held since 2002 in 127 endemic sub-districts in 8 states, namely Kedah, Perak, Johor, Pahang, Terengganu, Kelantan, Sabah, and Sarawak.
He said this in a statement in conjunction with the Neglected Tropical Diseases and TD celebration earlier today. As for patients suffering from elephantiasis complications, he said a total of 76 cases had been registered, although no new cases had been reported since 2004. Lymphatic filariasis or elephantiasis falls under the category of vector-borne NTD in Malaysia. Dr. Nur Hisham said lymphatic filariasis is caused by filaria worms spread by mosquitoes, Mensonia, Culex, and Anopheles, and in Malaysia, the common species of filaria is Brugia malayi. Adult worms can live for 6 to 8 years in the lymphatic system, causing damage mainly to the feet and hands, as well as causing elephantiasis and hydrocele or swelling in the scrotum. They can produce millions of microfilariae which circulate in the blood and are transmitted to other individuals through mosquito bites.
People with disabilities can contribute to society if given the opportunity and a proper platform. Sarawak State Disabled Sports and Recreation Association Chairman Matthew Chin said the organization is committed for the group to be treated equally.
Chin gave an example that Boni Bunyau Augustine from Serian has proved to the world that he succeeded in cementing his name in the sport arena.
You see, from the Paralympics, we have now a world champion in Boni Bunyau Augustine. He has won the gold medal in Tokyo, but at the same time, he is a holder of 3 or 4 records, namely the world record, the Paralympic record, and the Commonwealth record. A very interesting achievement, I would say, or rather proud achievement. Now, what about Special Olympics? Special Olympics has made great achievement in Malacca recently, and 5 of our athletes, or rather 3 of our athletes, are going to Berlin this year for the World Summer Games for the Special Olympics people. So these are the things that we feel proud that we have in some ways helped them by our association.
He told this to the media after the launching of the 3rd Malaysian Alliance International Chess Tournament for people with disabilities. The tournament, organised by 12 Lions clubs around Kuching and Serian, 10 winners will represent Sarawak in the finals held in Kuala Lumpur next March. The tournament is to raise public awareness of this special group of people in addition to unearth their talent.
In foreign development, persistent rain is expected in Auckland, New Zealand, which has already been hit by a major flood and landslides due to record-breaking downpours. 4 people have already lost their lives over the last 3 days due to the natural disaster, and authorities expect the number to rise further if no intervention is done to address the situation.
My focus and the focus of central government is supporting Auckland through what is still, a big challenge ahead of them. There's a big clean-up to go, and of course, we know through the forecasts that there's more bad weather ahead.
Meanwhile, in a statement via its official social media, the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research, NIWA, has recorded more than 8 times of its average rainfall, besides reaching 40% of its annual average rainfall. Auckland Emergency Management Controller Rachel Keller said bad weather is set to persist this week.
However, we do have more bad weather potentially coming in on Wednesday and Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll be watching that really closely and providing information to our communities on what to expect with that.
Hundreds of Indonesian Muslim protesters gathered outside the Swedish embassy in Indonesia's capital of Jakarta on Monday to protest the burning of a copy of the Quran by a right-wing politician in Sweden. All of them gathered behind barbed wire barricades and rows of police officers.
Yang mereka lakukan adalah sebuah penistaan terhadap kitab suci kami. Maka hari ini kami datang di depan Kedutaan Besar Swedia dan Belanda insya Allah untuk menyatakan sikap bahwa kami mengutuk keras perbuatan Rasmus Paludan, ya, politisi dari Swedia, dan kami siap untuk mengorbankan jiwa kami melawan daripada penistaan yang mereka lakukan. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar.
The protesters ceremoniously burned a few Swedish flags and called the Indonesian government to sever all ties with Sweden.
Yang kedua, kita juga meminta kepada pemerintah Indonesia untuk ikut bukan hanya mengecam, tapi ikut memboikot segalanya yang berbau Swedia. Apakah itu hubungan diplomatik, apakah itu hubungan ekonomi, apakah itu hubungan bilateral dalam persenjataan atau apapun, kita minta diputuskan sebagai bukti bahwa Indonesia anggota PBB. Jangan lupa, PBB tanggal 15 Maret 2022 telah memutuskan tidak ada lagi yang namanya Islamofobia.
The protest was one of the latest in a string of outcry from Islam-majority countries, including Malaysia, Turkey, and Jordan.
And finally, China's largest search engine company, Baidu, is planning to roll out an artificial intelligence chatbot similar to that of OpenAI's ChatGPT. A person familiar with the matter said this is potentially China's most prominent entry in a race touched off by the tech phenomenon.
The Chinese internet giant plans to debut a ChatGPT-style application in March, initially embedding it into its main search services. The tool, whose name hasn't been decided, will allow users to get conversation-style search results, much like OpenAI's popular platform. Meanwhile, in the largest intraday gain in almost 4 weeks, the company's shares rose as much as 5.8% after Bloomberg's report. Baidu has spent billions of dollars researching AI in a years-long effort to transition from online marketing to deeper technology. ChatGPT, OpenAI's artificial intelligence tool, has lit up the internet since its public debut in November, amassing more than 1 million users within days and touching off a debate about the role of AI in schools, offices, and homes.
And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Douglas Elliott. Thank you for watching.
Semestinya nasib kanak-kanak jalanan harus diambil kira bukan saja di Sarawak, Malaysia, tapi di seluruh dunia, Amnya.
Berkurun lama ku rahsiakan cintaku padamu. Kepada anda semua peminat setia Band Axis, jangan lupa saksikan mereka bersama dengan hos-hos kami di Sejahtera Asia untuk mengikuti perkembangan terkini mereka dan juga mana tahu ada upcoming konsert yang akan dijalankan oleh mereka. Tapi di mana kita nak saksikan dari sana?
Hanya di Sejahtera Asia pada Ramadan, TVS 122 Astro dan My TV. 7.45 pagi esok. 31 Januari 2023 hanya di Sejahtera Asia.
Daripada inspirasi
kami cetuskan inovasi. Jomlah Sharon, saya nak pergi lah. Boleh tak? Tangan tu. Pandai lagi nyanyi Sharon.
Daripada inspirasi, kami cetuskan inovasi.